What if I told you that one of the smartest scientists on Earth left behind a final message, not for other scientists, but for people like you and me? A message about the future that was so unsettling, so honest, that it still gives chills to anyone who truly understands it. This wasn't a warning meant to scare us. It was something much deeper than that. It was a quiet confession, a realization that came at the very end of a lifetime spent studying reality itself. And once you hear it, you may never look at the future the same way again. Imagine dedicating your entire life to understanding the universe. Decades of equations, experiments, failures, breakthroughs, watching humanity progress, technology explode, civilizations rise and fall. And then, near the end of that journey, realizing something that changes everything you thought you knew, that the future we're racing toward may not be what we think it is. That progress, intelligence, and innovation don't automatically mean safety or survival. This scientist didn't scream this message to the world. They calmly shared it, knowing most people wouldn't truly listen. But today, you're listening. The message begins with a simple but uncomfortable truth. The future is not guaranteed. We grow up believing tomorrow will always come, that the world will keep spinning, that technology will save us, that science will solve every problem we create. But the deeper science goes, the clearer it becomes that the universe doesn't care about our hopes. It follows rules, cold mathematical rules. And those rules don't promise happy endings. The scientist explained that humanity is standing at a strange point in time. Never before have we had so much power. We can split atoms, edit genes, create artificial intelligence, manipulate nature itself. But power without wisdom is dangerous. The future doesn't collapse in one dramatic moment like in the movies. It erodes slowly, quietly, through small decisions, ignored warnings, and the belief that someone else will fix it later. One of the most haunting parts of the message focused on time. Not clocks and calendars, but the direction of time itself. We assume the future stretches endlessly forward, full of infinite possibilities. But physics tells a different story. Time moves in one direction for a reason. Entropy increases. Order fades. Systems decay. Even stars burn out. Even galaxies drift apart. The universe is slowly heading toward silence. And humanity is not exempt from those laws. The scientist wasn't saying the future is hopeless. They were saying it's fragile. Civilization is like a thin layer of ice over a deep, freezing ocean. From a distance, it looks solid, permanent. But underneath, chaos is always waiting. History proves this. Entire civilizations have vanished before, believing they were too advanced to fail. They weren't destroyed by a single enemy. They collapsed from within, unable to adapt fast enough to the reality changing around them. Then came the part about intelligence. For centuries, we believed intelligence was our greatest advantage. And it is. But the scientist warned that intelligence alone does not guarantee survival. Dinosaurs dominated the Earth for millions of years. They were incredibly successful in their time. And yet they're gone. Not because they were weak, but because they couldn't adapt quickly enough to sudden change. The same risk applies to us. Technology is evolving faster than human wisdom. Artificial intelligence, automation, and algorithms are reshaping society at a pace our minds are not built to handle. The scientist warned that the danger isn't machines becoming evil. It's machines becoming efficient while humans remain divided, emotional, and short-sighted. The future doesn't need an evil villain to fall apart. It only needs indifference. Another chilling part of the message focused on meaning. The scientist said that as we move into the future, humanity risks losing something essential. Not resources, not energy, but purpose. When everything becomes automated, optimized, and predicted, humans begin to feel replaceable. And a society that feels meaningless becomes unstable. History shows that when people lose a sense of purpose, they turn against each other. Not because they want chaos, but because chaos feels like something. The scientist spoke about space too. Many people believe space exploration is humanity's escape plan. If Earth fails, we'll just move on. But space is not a backup home. It's a reminder of how hostile reality truly is. Every planet we've studied is either frozen, burning, toxic, or dead. Earth is not normal. It's a miracle. And miracles should not be taken for granted. The future, according to this message, is not something that simply happens to us. It's something we actively shape, even when we think we're doing nothing. Every choice matters. What we prioritize, what we ignore, what we teach the next generation. The scientist warned that the most dangerous mindset is believing the future will fix itself. At one point, the message becomes deeply personal. The scientist admits fear, not fear of death, but fear of leaving behind a world that understands so much about the universe, yet so little about itself. We know how stars are born, but not how to live together peacefully. We can calculate the age of galaxies, but not the value of kindness. That imbalance, they said, is the real threat. The final part of the message is quiet, almost gentle. The scientist says the future is still open, but only barely, like a door that hasn't fully closed yet. And what happens next depends less on technology and more on awareness. Awareness that progress without responsibility leads nowhere. Awareness that being human is not about dominating the universe, but understanding our place within it. The message ends with a simple thought. The future will not remember us for our inventions alone. It will remember us for the choices we made when we knew better. Knowledge creates responsibility. Once you understand the consequences, ignorance is no longer an excuse. So if there's one thing to take from this scientist's final message, it's this. The future is watching us, not as a destiny, but as a reflection. What we become tomorrow is decided by how seriously we take today. And the question isn't whether humanity is smart enough to survive. The question is whether we are wise enough to deserve it. And now that you've heard this message, you're part of it. Because the future doesn't begin someday. It begins with the next choice you make.